Everybody, welcome to Coffee Vlog, the show where I get comedians on and we speak about movies, computer games, and many other things, and comedy. Today we've got James Meakin.
Hello.
Do you wanna introduce yourself?
My name's James. I'm a comic. I'm a stand-up comic.
I'm a comedy.
I'm a stand-up comic from London, which is fun. Pretty cool.
How long have you been doing comedy for?
I've been doing it hard for a year. So January last year I decided to take it seriously. Did a handful of gigs in 2017. You were actually on my first gig of 2018 at TNT actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you were doing monkey portraits, and I laughed
That's right.
hard.
That's right
yeah,
there.
Absolutely loved that joke. It's great. Yeah, it's great. It's my favourite thing.
You still enjoy doing it?
Yeah. Even the bad nights, even the long tube journeys. It's just my favourite thing.
Good. So, tell me what type of comedy do you do?
I do. I would probably say storytelling, anecdotes.
Yeah.
No jokes. I don't really have very many gags. Very little kind of punchlines, which is weird. I kind of just talk about myself.
But the stories that you tell them in a way that interesting.
They are. I try to make
it's
them
not
funny.
just here's a random story. You've added stuff to it. And you've done it in your own style.
Yeah, that's one thing I try and do is make what I say individual. Like, I'm not trying to be anyone else, and you can see that sometimes when people are trying to do a style. I started off trying to be someone.
Who is that someone?
He doesn't do comedy anymore.
Okay.
He's a New York-based comedian who doesn't do comedy anymore, and I was quite a big fan of his.
Is he the one that still sort of does it?
Oh yeah, no, he did it. He did a spot recently.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he does it. But yeah, I was a big fan, and I was like, well, I'll just tell really insulting jokes, and I had a few kind of edgy, kind of school shooter jokes, stuff like that. And then like I just bombed like 3 times. I'm like, why don't people like these horrible things I'm saying? And then I went back to like, I'm just going to talk about weird stuff that's happened to me.
So people seem to.
Yeah, they definitely prefer stuff that's. I was going for the shock.
Yeah.
And I think that's stupid. And I don't really think that, other than a few people, a few kind of mainstream comedians, going for the shock is a bad move. You've got to go for the laugh. Like, you want to try. I think
you can do the shock, but yeah, it's got to be one that you can get most people on your side still, even if it is the most horrific joke, that you can still find something in there that people are going to be like, oh, we're on your side with this. It's not just a horrible,
just a horrible thing to say.
Being horrible. Yeah.
I felt like I was being horrible. I kind of went into comedy thinking I was going to be angry and like bitter and weird, and I was just so happy to be doing it that I was like, oh, this is not my onstage persona. I'm a lot more kind of chatty. You know, I like to talk about things in a longer form way. Like I prefer, I mean everyone does, but I prefer 10-minute sets because you have an opportunity to really get into a story. That's why I can't ever do any of those like gong shows. It's because I don't have any jokes.
Yeah, that's the thing. The first time I did a gong show, I tried to do a 3-minute Coronation Street bit. Yeah. And the audience was like, no, we don't.
Not having it.
We're not having this.
How long did you get?
I got 3 minutes 52.
That's pretty good.
So still,
I think that's good.
Yeah, but then when I did it the second time, they're all into, now we want you to do one-liners or just quick punchlines.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should. I think you should try a gong show still, just to see.
It's going to happen eventually.
But they are horrible, horrible things to do.
I kind of just want to go and be on stage at the Comedy Store and get that profile picture. You know, that's it's like, oh yeah, I definitely did fine. I didn't just bomb horribly.
There's I can't remember who it is, but there's someone that has put up a video online, and I think they only did 2 minutes at the King Gong, and then they've just made it look like they've done 5, but added a voiceover to it, so they're all doing Tinder jokes actually instead of the actual
very nice
material, and then being like, "Who here's a couple?" and like, fake laughter, just stuff to it.
All of the kind of manufactured crowd work that you're expecting someone to say a certain thing that cues you up your next bit. Oh, it's brilliant.
How did you get into comedy?
I've always been a massive comedy fan, like a massive fan of stand-up comedy, and I always wanted to try it, and I never did. And I used to do a lot of music. I used to play in bands. I used to do solo guitar kind of thing, and I'm not very good at music. I'll be honest. I'm not very good at it. It's fine. I can't really sing. Can't really play the guitar. I don't really care.
I don't think you have to know how to sing to do.
But like, I had a gig. My girlfriend does events, and she had me booked for a small festival in Battersea Park. and I was rehearsing constantly all of my songs, just going over and over and over again. And she was like, "Do you ever practice what you say between the songs?" And I'm like, "I just say whatever comes off the top of my head." And she's like, "That's weird," because she knows people who do it the other way around. They're so comfortable and confident with the music, but it's the being in front of people talking that they can't do. And I was like, I've always wanted to try stand-up. That's basically what that is.
Yeah.
Just mash all the bits in the middle together, and I got 5 minutes, and then I tried it. I went to Lion's Den, classic night, classic first place. Thought I had 5 minutes of material. It was the best part of 3. And I left that venue, and I was just so pumped up. I was so happy that I'd finally done something different.
Yeah.
That I was like, this is definitely the thing. And then I came back the next week, and I made it to 5 minutes, and that was the second goal. So first goal was do it. Second goal, get to 5 minutes. And then so all of these small incremental goals are really satisfying to do. So then after that, a few months later, I'm like, well, I'll try and do 10 minutes. And I'll try and MC, and then I'll try and get paid some money, which that one's the next one, that's the next thing. But the other thing I've learned about doing stuff that you want in stand-up is you have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really, I thought people were going to ask you, but really I just said to some people, I was like, can I do 10? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you just say what you want and then you get it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's great fun. I can't wait. I just can't wait from all my gigs, and at work. It's all I can really think about is writing material and doing it.
Do you write it when you're
at
work?
At work, at my desk. And some guy came over to show me something, and I had my small comedy notebook on my desk, and he was going to write down and draw a diagram of what he was showing me, and he just grabbed it, and I went, no, not that one. That's my private notebook. And he's like, what? And I was like, it's not weird. Like, I put my stand-up in it, and he's like, what? I was like, okay, leave this, and I just had to give him the other one. If you open that, Jesus, the nightmares that you would have seen inside. No, never look within the notebook.
Do they know that you do stand-up at your work?
Yeah.
Okay. And
mainly because I have to tell them, because I have to leave early sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Have they ever come and seen you do your work? Or
no. One guy's been threatening to come, which is cool. I think he's going to come to my gig on the 31st in Herne Hill. It's going to be fun. But yeah, nobody from work's come.
Yeah, that's always the thing I was worried about at work. They knew that I did stand up, but they watched videos at their desk at work, which was weird. But they've been, oh yeah, we're watching.
Well, your videos.
Yeah.
Wow, that would
drive
me
fucking I'd have
insane.
to hide at my desk, being like they're sat behind me watching one of the videos.
Nothing of mine is nothing of mine's public. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I got some half decent videos, that you get the funny feckers ones and stuff that look really good. But I can't put them on YouTube.
You don't want to do.
There's the time
you
hasn't
people
come
to find them.
No, that stuff being Googleable is like, ooh.
Right, we're gonna. I'm always, like I tell everyone, I'm always good at segues on this show. We're gonna go into movies.
Movies.
What's your top 3?
I love movies so much.
Top 3 movies.
Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
That's the thing that when Rob was on.
Yeah, I saw Rob. I was like,
he was like worrying. He swore, and he was like, "Am I allowed to do that on this?"
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good.
YouTube does remove your money if you do have monetization, because they want it to all be kid friendly now.
Shouldn't be up to you what people show.
And it's like you have to have on certain videos they're age restricted if they have any
Sexy
massive
bits.
amount of swearing. Yeah, it's all very odd.
My top 3 movies.
Yeah.
I mean, we've probably got to talk about Con Air, and we got to talk about Nicolas Cage, because I'm a big fan of Nicolas Cage. But let's say Con Air aside, my 3 favourite movies are Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, True Romance, and then Fifth Element, I would say.
There's 3 very good.
Yeah, so they're the movies that I could watch over and over again. And obviously Con Air I could watch over as many times as you could possibly imagine. But those are the movies I always go back to. They pass the test, the Sunday afternoon test, which is like, would you sit down on a Sunday afternoon and watch it?
Is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, is it not too much for you sometimes? Because that's the thing, I do return back to it, but it's always too much for me every time almost.
It's a big one. It's a lot to watch, but I quite like Kaufman. I like movies that warp your mind and make you go a bit crazy. But it is just beautiful. Like the way everything about that film is beautiful, and I would probably say it's my favourite film. But it's the other one. The other thing about it is, of all those 3, it's the one I've probably seen the least, because I kind of don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, I think that's one that you can keep watching, but I think if you do overwatch it, then you're just like, I know exactly everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's a film where you spot a lot of little things that are put in there as well.
New stuff.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of subtlety to it that's kind of hidden in the fact that it's just weird, just absolutely crazy, and but I think about it all the time. It's fantastic.
No, it's a brilliant film. A true romance. Why is that one of you?
Oh, it's like, of all of the kind of Tarantino based things. I mean, obviously he didn't direct it.
He wrote it, and that's is it Luke's? That's not Luke Scott. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who directed it? Yeah.
And it's the best one, I think, out of all of the movies of that ilk. It's just the characters. Again, it's just I think it's a really beautiful love story, you know, and the characters are amazing. I really love the cast, the kind of ensemble cast of just superstars who are in it, and it's just entertaining. Like, that's the other thing, is it's fun to watch, and that's one of my favourite things about that film. Is it's good fun, and that's the most important thing about movies, I think, is to have fun watching them.
Yeah, I think with the Fifth Element as well. You said that's a fun one to. The only thing I've is it like Benson?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been trying to still do the whole Fifth Element universe in all his other
I've
films.
not watched any of them.
I think he did Lucy, I think. And
I've seen Lucy.
Yeah.
And he did that Valerian.
Yeah. But when I looked at the trailer of that, it seemed like he was almost trying to do that one. He was trying to do Fifth Element bits as well. But yeah, I think Fifth Element is still a very very good one.
Just the style of it, and it's kind of the perfect bridge, in my opinion, between like classic old school effects and the modern era. Like they don't overdo the CGI, which at the time, you know, late 90s. Is it late 90s, early 2000s? It's around there.
It's in the it's not
97.
Yeah, I think it is. It's 97.
Yeah. And then, you know, now it's just, you watch a Marvel movie and you're exhausted after the first 5 minutes. It's just too much.
That's the thing I noticed with the new Avengers Infinity War. I think that the Hulkbuster suit looked atrocious. When
which one's that?
It's when, you know, with it's like the Iron Man suit, which
Hulk
inside, but when they actually lifted it up and showed that it was just Bruce Banner inside, his little head inside looked
really silly.
Yeah. Just looked ridiculous for it.
Yeah, I watched that movie recently. I'm not a big fan of Marvel movies. Superhero movies for me don't really do anything for me, because I just think that, like, if you're a superhero, you're essentially magic, right?
Yeah.
And if you're magic, then anything in this universe can happen. So there's no consequences. And that's the other thing about the Infinity Wars, right? Is I don't believe for a second that all of those massive, like, box office smashing actors are dead, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, sorry if you've not seen Infinity War, but it's fine.
It's
been out for a year, like, come on. But if all those people are dead, then that's crazy. If they're not, they live in a universe where there's no consequences. If there's no consequences, I'm not interested in any of the peril that they're in.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I have with it. And the other thing about this thing about the Marvel movies is every single Marvel movie is superhero gets in a fight with someone who's pretty bad at the very beginning. Then they realise that person isn't the biggest bad, and then they have a crisis of confidence and they fall out with their mates, and then they all get back together and they beat him.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, it turns out there's an even bigger one. And then that is actually the narrative for the entire, how long have they been at? 10 years worth of movies?
Yeah, they're on the phase. I think phase 4 is the one that's starting this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been since Iron Man since 2008. I think it was.
I really liked the first Iron Man movie. I really, really, really liked the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because I thought that was kind of the feeling and texture and everything about that film was what the new Star Wars movies should have been.
Yeah.
And they weren't. And yeah, and then they released the second one. It was just another.
Second one it just felt like the same, but there wasn't. I enjoyed it, but it just didn't seem like they had really thought up any new ideas.
Yeah.
And I think the Guardians had a better story in Infinity War as well.
Yeah.
That was the thing about that whole part where the weird cubes of people's faces moving. It's just like there's so much I want from them. I mean, this is the other thing I think about all movies, particularly sci-fi. I'm a big sci-fi fan, and I don't like when people don't immediately just appreciate that it's really silly. Yeah.
And a lot of them are really the early, particularly the Captain America movies, were really like serious. And then when Thor Ragnarok came out, that changed the game.
Oh yeah.
It was hilarious. I want to see a Jeff Goldblum movie. Like that character, I don't know what his name is, but that standalone movie would be amazing.
That's the thing with Doctor Strange. They tried to. There was one part of Doctor Strange where they tried to make that funny as well.
Yeah.
And where it gets all trippy and stuff. But then they just were like, no, we've got to make it all serious again.
Yeah, it's got to become another Marvel movie.
It's the guy that gets his hands and is moving stuff like that. And it's like, we're meant to really take that completely serious.
Yeah. Like there's got to be a certain amount of understanding that it's silly. That's why. Do you watch the Orville?
No, I still haven't watched it yet. But is it actually
so
good?
It's hilarious, and it's, I think, in my opinion, pretty decent sci-fi. So I'm a big Star Trek fan, and it's kind of like that, but it's so tongue in cheek and really, really meta. Like it 100% knows that it's just ripping Star Trek off.
Yeah.
And that show is everything that you want as an example from a sci-fi show. It knows that they're flying through space and it's ridiculous, and that's why it's enjoyable to watch.
So we're going to computer games. Do you play?
Yeah, I do, but I'm really kind of, if I don't like it immediately, I'll stop playing, which is a bad habit to get into.
Well, that's the thing. I've done that with quite a few games recently. I started playing Mafia 3.
Oh, fuck that game.
And I was trying to play it, but I was like, my TV was on the brightness it's always on for every single game.
Oh yeah, turn the brightness up.
I was like, I can't see anything when I was driving the car around. I started crashing into other people's cars. I was like, nope, this isn't. Even if I have to turn up the brightness on my TV, I'm not gonna.
I just think that was a bad game, because the first two Mafia games are two of my favourite games ever.
Yeah, the first they are amazing.
That reveal in the second one where you're, spoilers from just playing a 20-year-old game, but yeah, you're killing the guy from the first game. That was amazing. And then the music starts from the first game, and I hadn't heard that music since I first played Mafia 1. And I was like, that is amazing. So Mafia, those are two games I absolutely love. My all-time number one favourite game is Fallout 3. I've been chasing that feeling of playing Fallout 3 forever. Yeah. And I think I finally found it in Red Dead Redemption 2. I love Red Dead Redemption 2. It's perfect.
Are you because I finished it the other about 2 days ago, because the way that I was doing it is I was trying to explore a lot. Yeah. But I think I'm going to go back and try and find all the dinosaur bones. Yeah. And have you been doing those type of things?
Well, I'll do a night of today I'll just do the quests, do the main story, and then the other days I think I'll just go fishing for a bit and just do some hunting. But yeah, the way I play games that have collectibles in, so I did this for like Fallout 4. Fallout 3 as well, is I'll complete as much of the game as I can, and then I'll just Google where the stuff is. I know it's a bit cheating or whatever, but I had
to do that for the first dinosaur bone, but then I found them afterwards.
It gives you what doing it that way round I found does is it gives you a goal of your play, because if you don't have any missions to do or anything to achieve, you go, this is in this bit. I'll just ride there, and whatever happens on the way, I'll just get in adventures and find out what's going on, and that's how I do that. But it is a bit cheating. I'm trying to find a way of finding the dinosaur bones without using Google. In that, like, there must be a reason, like something to look for.
It's odd because you're pressing the two buttons down, and then it's because what console are you playing it on?
PlayStation.
Yeah, because you press two analog sticks down, and it does appear on because it's just yellow on the side of things, isn't it? Dinosaur, because they're just fossils that are just
something to look for.
Cliff edges. That's one thing I found. And have you found engravings yet?
What, the cheats?
No, the engravings on.
No, I haven't found
That's
any
the thing. I was looking for a dinosaur bone, and then the next one I look up and there's engravings as well. You have to find 10 engravings.
Yeah.
So there's all
10. Wow.
Yeah,
there's so much collectibles and all the cigarette cards to find.
And not only the cigarette cards, you have to break into a lot of people's houses to find them. That's the one thing. I know you get in trouble for it, but you go in and you'll find just the premium cigarettes just on someone's bedside table, and it's like, well, why did I? Yeah. If they don't want you to get bad karma or anything in the game, how come I have to break into this person's house?
Oh yeah, that's really complicated. The thing I always think I'm being really good, and then I look at the character stats. Yeah. And it turns out I'm just super evil, just because I like robbing the dead people up. I want to get their $1.16 and their gold belt buckle.
Right, I'm gonna go segue again.
Segue.
Music. Yeah.
Music. I love music. So good.
What type of music are you?
I think my music taste can be summarised as emo bangers. Just 2004.
What type of
golden era?
Emo bangers?
Oh, it's Funeral for a Friend, number one all-time favourite band. Love Taking Back Sunday. Love Alexis on Fire. I was listening to that on the way here.
Yeah, Alexis on Fire were one of my favourite bands. Well, they still are.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them twice. When they were at Reading. This is the only time I've ever gone to Reading.
Yeah.
And they did 2 shows in
Oh yeah, I was at that one.
One day.
Yeah, yeah. Then they did like kind of a fans early days set on the lockup, and then it was kind of the newer album on the main stage. Yeah, that was great. Oh, we're going back. That was I want to say 2009. Yeah. Man, that was great. The last couple of times I went to Reading was, I think, 2008, 2009, so that's 10 years ago now, which is crazy. But the year before, Billy Talent did the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did kind of a fan set headlining the lockup when dog shit band Kings of Leon were headlining.
I like that you call them dog shit band. Yeah.
I quite like hardcore. Got my Ruiner t-shirt on today, which is a really good hardcore band. That's that, yeah. And big riffs like bands like Black Peaks. They're amazing. Just big fuzzy riffs. They're the best. And also UK post-hardcore around 2004 or 5. So like 100 Reasons, Million Dead, Reuben, obviously one of the greatest bands of all time. That kind of stuff. That's my favourite kind of music.
Do you still go to any hardcore shows now?
Not so much.
I stopped going. I used to go to them a lot, and then all of a sudden I started going, and when people used to hardcore dance at shows, they would make sure they weren't hitting anyone else in the crowd, and all of a sudden going, people were like, "Oh, we're gonna do spin kicks into the
crowd killing."
Yeah, crowd killing. It's like this is sort of ruined going to shows because you don't know where you can stand.
I don't even know if I like going to gigs anymore.
Yeah, what happened was the camera stopped recording. And we're trying to make this bit look really good.
But you said really smooth.
Yeah, you said you don't even know if you like going to gigs anymore.
Yeah, it's like with doing stand up, and you're doing stand up like 3 times a week, and then there's a gig on like a Friday night. And if I'm not doing stand up, I just want to be in bed.
Yeah.
It's just hot and loud, and there's very, very few bands now that I'm willing to go out of my way to go and see. Like I'm going to see the Hold Steady, one of the American hard rock band from they're a band you see in a bar. Amazing. They're doing 2 nights in Camden and then a night in Hackney with a film screening before. I'm going to all 4 of them because it's going to be really great. So they're one of the only bands that I'd consider like actually going to see.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, I have to really like them. Or it's a band getting back together for like a one-time only gig. Apart from that time Alexis on Fire did that, and they can go fuck themselves. Because I went to their last gig in Brixton, and I was like, same. It was amazing. And then they come back 3 years later, and it's £45 a ticket. No,
I can't. I think I went to because I'm into some rap music as well. But there's a guy called Nothing Nowhere. But when he's on stage, he has a band with him, so it's all like it's not just rap music. But it's his songs are him talking about like depression and stuff. But he's a guy that's really into hardcore as well. So he tries to do that sort of style in some of his songs, and that's the last gig I went to, and luckily that was just a nice gig to go to. Before that, have you heard of the band Twitch and Tongues?
No.
They're a hardcore band that are pretty good as well. Went to their gig, and that was at the Dome.
That's a great venue.
I think Boston Arms. It was in the downstairs bit.
Yeah.
And that was a nice gig, but there was guys that I hadn't been to hardcore gigs in a while, and I walked in, this guys in the basketball shorts still.
Yeah.
Trying spin kicks every 5 seconds, and I was like, what's going on here? This used to happen when I used to go to gigs in like 2000 and
just stand at the back.
Yeah.
The good thing about that venue is even if they sell it out, there's plenty of space.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. It's so weird now that I'm older. It's like the gigs I want to go to. I mean, I'll go to a gig at the Roundhouse. There's plenty of space. Great toilets. Always a unique selling point on a gig is like.
That's when they're on the like upstairs.
Yeah.
That bit.
Lovely. I could go to a gig there or you can smoke easily. Like Brixton, you can't even go out for a smoke, which is annoying.
Camden Underworld, I think, has the worst toilets.
Worst toilets by far.
No toilet seats.
It's harrowing in there. Plus, if you don't go first thing, it's going to be flooded.
Other things is what I've written. Have you got any other things you would like to talk about on this? I don't know why I write other things, but
other things.
Yes.
I want to talk a bit about Nicolas Cage. Because
I saw your online post the other day. Was it your top 5?
Yeah, my top 10 Nicolas Cage movies. So I'm a massive fan of Nicolas Cage. I think he's the best actor of all time. I think he's released more good movies than most good actors have released good movies. It's just like a thing.
Do you think he's released a lot of bad as well?
Oh yeah, no, he's released to date. I mean, as in out. There's another 8 in production, but he's got 90 movies credited to himself on IMDb. And I've seen all but 22 of them. And for the most part, they're all right.
Yeah.
And the best ones, obviously, are, Con Air, The Rock and Face Off. Those are the best. The Beige Volvo trilogy.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the best movies. So I'm trying to watch all of these Nicolas Cage movies, and I think he's an absolute genius. And it's part of my acts. Like I do this whole thing about 4 reasons why Con Air is the best movie ever made, and he's just fantastic. He's entertaining. Like, that's the thing. Is no matter what you watch, no matter how bad the movie is, Nicolas Cage is still gonna be fun to look at, be enjoyable to watch. And that, do you like Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
do you ever see everyone always comes back to The Wicker Man as like an example of how bad it can get.
It's an odd remake. It's like all of a sudden you've got him going around in a bear suit, punching women and screaming about how this toast get burnt.
Yeah.
And it's like the original film was nothing like this, but it's
There's
right.
a proper
Hollywooding
of it, but just missing the mark. That actually, I think that's got about 3 point something on that.
Yeah, but it's something fun to watch. Still, it's ridiculous, but it's still something.
It makes sense. The thing is, his really bad stuff, the like straight to Netflix kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That as films don't make sense. The editing, the dialogue, everything about it is bad to watch. At least that makes a bit of sense. At least it has a narrative. Whereas some of the movies are just pointless, just total irrelevance. There was one I watched recently about it's called Looking Glass, and it's on Netflix. And he works in a motel where you can see through the mirrors. You get to the end, and it's like they cut the last act of the movie. They just went, nope, that's it. The movie's over, and the credits rolling. Like, nothing got solved here.
That's a bit odd.
Yeah, it's just the worst. I think there's a lot worse ones. But I think if you're the kind of guy, you're in like Adaptation or Matchstick Men or like Lord of War. Like those are genuinely good movies. He's got an Oscar. You know, he's the best. And I'm always interested in other people. There's another guy on the scene on this open mic circuit who's also trying to watch it. I think he's only got 19 left, so he's ahead of me.
Have you watched Mum and Dad?
I've not seen. That's one of the next ones on my list. Apparently, it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Did you get to Mandy?
Yeah. Did you like Mandy?
I loved it.
The weird thing with me is I hate the first hour of it, and then when he's making that sword, and then the title comes up about an hour and 20 minutes in, and then he's going around just going crazy and sat on the toilet crying. Drinking
that vodka when he eats that grey acid, and then the movie completely changes.
Yeah.
It was. I thought it was a great, absolutely great movie, and it's when they wrote that, you know that the only person they had in mind for it was
you couldn't. I don't think it would have had. I think if it didn't have Nicolas Cage in, it wouldn't have had this much bigger impact as it has with people.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the thing that does make the whole film. Just his performance.
It's kind of the direction he should be going.
Yeah.
I mean, he got a lot of success with that movie Joe. Like, if you small, proper indie movies, not just like places that churn out bad cop movies. Like
Joe was I thought that was a. Have you seen? Yeah, I thought that was a good film.
I honestly thought that was like, oh, he's turned the corner now.
Yeah.
And then Netflix
but then he goes back
giving money.
Yeah.
He just needs that cash.
Because there's Pay the Ghost that he did as well.
I quite liked it. I quite enjoyed that one actually. I thought that was good, going back down to hell to get his son or whatever it was. That was a good one. But then there's like Left Behind. Did you watch that one when he's
that's the weird thing. That's a remake as well of like a Christian film.
Yeah, it's about the rapture.
There's like 3 Left Behind films I think that were made because it was like some whole Christian propaganda thing.
That's bizarre. I mean, it's just so bad to watch. It's just not fun. Like, that's the other thing, is that some of the movies are fun to watch. Like he's in a lot of movies where, and I'm talking like 3 or 4, where the narrative is he's an ex-criminal, like let's say a bank robber or something like that, or like assassin.
Yeah.
His family get taken or murdered, and then he has to get the old gang back together, and then he gets revenge. Like there's maybe 4 movies that he's released in the last 5 years that have that exact story.
Yeah.
And they can start dragging a little bit, which is, but you have to watch them.
What film of his that I really enjoyed? I know the word drive is in the title.
Drive Angry.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
That was
surprising.
Yeah.
It's got a good twist at the end when he just turns out to be like Satan or something the whole time. And he's drinking out of a skull. Yeah,
that was a fun one. I'm glad you brought Nicolas Cage into
the world.
Into this as well, yeah. How I normally end this is, have you got 3 things you would like to, or just anything you would like to recommend to people? Doesn't have to be 3 things
to recommend, or
just anything to recommend to people.
What do I like?
You should recommend anything they can watch, read.
Okay,
Bye.
let's say the Orville. Watch the Orville. It's really, really, really good. Big fan of that. It's one of the best shows going on television. I don't know. Oh yeah, watch Mandy. Watch Mandy as a movie. It's amazing. It's really, really good. And if you don't like it, then you go fuck yourself. And as far as music goes, let's recommend some music. The new Rolo Tomati album that came out last year is one of the most incredible pieces of music ever made. So you should do that. Also, follow me on Twitter at Satsuma Hat. Let me start from the beginning.
I'll put that in the...
At Satsuma_hat. Yeah, it's got an underscore on my Twitter. It's a stupid thing to have, but it's part of the game. That's it. That's all I've got.
Well, thank you very much.
Lovely. That was great
for being
fun.
on this. That's James Meakin, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.